Most people have issues when they first attempt bar chords, especially beginners. So this lesson will deal not only with just bar chords, but some technique tips that I can give you that will help make the bar chords easier. First of all, a little bit of theory. These bar chords are triadic. What that means is that even though you might be playing 6 strings or 5 strings, there are only 3 different notes in the chord. There are notes that are doubled. So the chords are triadic. They only have 3 different notes. The difference between a major chord and a minor chord is that the minor chord has a flatted third relative to the major chord. So that's why you have the terms major third and minor third. There's only one note different between the major bar chord and the minor bar chord, and that's the third. I usually start students with minor bar chords first because I find that they're generally easier to play for most people. They don't have a lot of the technique issues that some of the major chords do. So we're going to start off with a 6-string minor. This is a minor bar chord. It has the root note on the 6th string. So the root note in this case is A, so this is an A minor. From a 5th string root, the chord looks like this. This note is a D, so this is a D minor. With those 2 chord shapes, a 6th string minor and a 5th string minor, you can go around the key circle. C minor, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C. That's a really good way to drill the bar chords. One thing you might notice is the bottom 3 notes. Those 3 notes constitute a 3-note power chord. On both of them, the 5th string minor, you have 3 notes, and on the 6th string. So if you already know power chords, you already know half of these chords. That's a beautiful thing. Now, some technique tips that will help on this. One of the problems that people think they have is lack of strength, and everybody over squeezes. It's not strength that you need. You have way more strength than you'll ever need to play the guitar. It's never about brute force. It's all about fine motor control and optimum placement. The optimum placement for any note on the guitar is right up behind the fret. I'm on this side of the fret, you see? I'm not here, I'm here. So the string is vibrating from the fret wire, not from your fingertip. So if you put your finger here, or if you put your finger here, it's the same note because the string is vibrating from the fret wire. So all you have to do is push the string down till it touches the fret wire. How much strength does that take to push the string down that far? Almost none. You don't need strength. You need fine motor control, optimum placement. So, especially when it comes to the bar, you want the bar to be right up behind the fret wire and parallel to it, okay? You don't want your finger to do this. See that? Because you got all this stuff down here. When you press the string further behind the fret like that, you have to press harder to get it to touch. Plus, if you're way back here, you have to push, the string will touch the fret behind your finger before it touches this one, so you're actually having to push against the force of the fret behind your finger. If you put your finger right here, you don't have to press hard at all. So that's where you want the bar. Right behind the fret wire, parallel to it. So this is good, this is bad. You're going to have all kinds of muted strings and fret buzz and all kinds of things going on if you got your hand angled like this. One way to help keep your finger parallel is to keep your elbow in. If you put your elbow out like that, see what that does to the angle of my finger? If I keep my elbow in, I can keep this parallel better. So, minimal pressure, Optimum placement. That's the key. You don't need strength. You don't need brute force. You need fine motor control, optimum placement. Okay, another thing that happens a lot with people is when they play the 6th string minor, the 3rd string gets muted. So I hear this. Okay? Just so happens the note on the 3rd string there, that's the minor 3rd. That's the most important note of the chord. If I can't hear that note, I don't know whether the chord is major or minor. So that problem can be caused by one or two things, or both of them at the same time. One of the ways that happens is that your pinky leans this way and the finger pad, the pad of your finger on your pinky, touches the 3rd string and mutes it. The solution to that is to bring your hand this way so that the first joint of your finger is perpendicular, coming straight down. That leaves room under here for the 3rd string to vibrate. At the same time, another thing can happen, and that is the 3rd string winds up in the groove of this knuckle, see, right here? So it doesn't get pushed down to where it touches the fret. The solution to that, and this will also affect the angle of these fingers positively, is to bring your bar this way and turn it a little bit sideways so that the knuckle on your 1st finger is directly over the 3rd string. You see that? That will help ensure that I can hear that minor 3rd. When you you bend your wrist and you bring your finger this way, you see what that does to the angle of these two fingers. It causes them to come this way, which creates the room under here. So moving your index finger this way so that the knuckle is positioned over the 3rd string also helps with the issue of the angle of these fingers. I like that because it's one solution, but it solves two problems, and that's economical. Okay, another problem that happens with the 5th string root. The 5th string minor looks like this. Sometimes I will hear people hit the 6th string open, which sounds like this. Okay. Sometimes people will bar the 6th string, and I hear this. I don't want to hear the 6th string at all when the root note is on the 5th string. So what I do is I position my index finger so the tip of the finger touches the 6th string and mutes it. That way, with my right hand, I don't have to be super accurate. If I accidentally hit the 6th string, it's muted. You don't hear it. So, those are some technique tips that help with the bar chords. Now for the major bar chords. 6th string major. Looks like that. Notice the 3rd as opposed to the minor 3rd. You see that? That's the difference. So this is an A major. 5th string major. This one requires you to hyperextend the 1st knuckle of your 3rd finger in order to get the 1st string there. Some people are just not physically able to do that. I think it's probably a genetic factor. If you can, great. Don't sacrifice the 2nd string for the sake of the 1st string, okay? The 2nd string, that's the major 3rd, as opposed to the minor 3rd. If I don't hear that, if it's muted, I can't tell whether that's major or minor. So, hyperextend this knuckle so you can hear the 5th string, the 1st string, right here. If you can't get your knuckle extended, you can sacrifice the 1st string, mute it. Okay, but don't lose that. Do not bar it. That's a different note. That creates a different chord. That's a major 6 chord. So I would rather hear this without the first string there than to lose the second string or barring the first string there. Now there's a different fingering for this that some people can do, where you, instead of barring here, you use 3 fingers. Okay, that's another solution to the problem if you can't hyperextend the knuckle on your ring finger. This has certain problems because all 3 fingers are on the same fret. You can't get this finger right up behind the fret wire. So there's a tendency for this chord for you get to fret buzz, or you get muted on that 4th string. And when you're up on the neck, like if you're playing a G up here and the frets are thin, it becomes really hard. This becomes much easier. So 6 of one, half dozen the other. I personally default to the bar with the ring finger. I think that's the best solution for most people. So you want to drill these major bar chords around the key circle just like minors. C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C. I want you to notice everything's on this side of the fret. You see that? Fine motor control, optimum placement, strength or force is not an issue. That's it for the bar chords. We'll see you next time.